Today we are looking at the American animated series, Lloyd in Space. A show that follows a green-skinned alien living in the future after World War IX. The show had 4 seasons from 2001 to 2004 and aired on the Disney Channel. So let's take a look at a few of the episodes. First up we have the Big 1-3. So we arrive on the space station as Lloyd is walking up to some woman as she gives him a medal for turning 13. Everyone cheers as all of a sudden some bad guy storms in and says he wants Lloyd on his side as they then battle with their lightsabers. Some alarm then goes off as Lord Voon is confused. Lloyd then wakes up from his dream as he checks the calendar to make sure he is 13 years old. He says he is a man as we see his real house. The station then starts to sing happy birthday to Lloyd as Lloyd gets annoyed at the station. Station then gives him a gift as Lloyd opens it to find a toy spaceship. Lloyd doesn't like it as he is a man now. His mom comes in to deliver breakfast but Lloyd doesn't want that baby stuff anymore. He goes to the fridge to find something more manly. His sister then comes in and says she can't find her toy. So she uses her powers to clear the fridge as she finds her toy. Lloyd is covered in flour as someone then calls in as he announces they have a problem on the bridge. So Lloyd's mom heads to work as Lloyd then bosses his sister to clean up, but she refuses and makes his head expand. Lloyd gives in as his sister then heads off. On the school bus we see some human talk to Lloyd as he goes on about the birthday cake he wants. Lloyd says he is having a smaller birthday. Eddie is confused as Lloyd says he has turned 13. They arrive at school as the teacher wants to see everyone's book report. The other students show off what they have done as Lloyd explains book reports are overrated as the teacher says he can do a report on manhood. Lloyd says he can't do it as the teacher threatens him. In space Lloyd is sitting outside as Station comes to see what is wrong. Lloyd explains he doesn't know what he is going to put in this report about being a man. Station says he needs some experience about being a man. As Lloyd heads to a poker game, the toaster says that some adults lie as he loses the poker game. The phone goes off as Lloyd's grandpa calls in to wish him happy birthday but he is confused on where Lloyd is. The machines tell grandpa he is learning how to be a man as grandpa tells him that real men fish. Lloyd heads to a fishing post as everyone tells him about fishing. He gets a fish on his hook, but then loses it and causes the power plant to explode. Everyone leaves as Lloyd is arrested. The police questions him why he was there in the first place. Lloyd explains he was trying to be a man as the cop then explains what he did when he was 13. Lloyd says he wants to drive as the cops give him a go. The cop says if he wants to be a man, he needs to be in control. He then accidentally presses a button causing the car to crash. Meanwhile at home, his mom is annoyed at Lloyd for crashing the car as she takes all his money away. His mother then tells him he is grounded as Lloyd is sad. Lloyd is trapped in his room as Station then suggests to start on the report, so Lloyd then starts to write, but he doesn't know what to say. He gets frustrated as someone then calls saying his sister is out of control. Lloyd heads to the daycare center as he asks Boomer for a car. Boomer refuses to give him a car, so he starts lying to him. So Boomer agrees to take him as the police come on his tail. Lloyd tries to explain the situation as he says he is in control. The police fly off as they arrive at the preschool. Francine is crying uncontrollably as Lloyd rushes in as Francine points to her toy. Lloyd says she could have got it herself as the place starts to crack. Lloyd then fishes for the toy as the day is saved. Lloyd celebrates his birthday as his mother is still annoyed at him. Lloyd then tells what being a man is really about. So he rushes to write his paper as the episode then ends. Next we have Double Date. On the school bus, Lloyd says he is finally managing this whole middle school thing as Eddie says he thought they were a team. Lloyd says they are still a team. In school it is announced it is the dance on Saturday as Lloyd is shocked. The brain asks if they have to come as the big guy asks if they need a date. The cheerleader says yes to both as Lloyd is concerned. In space Lloyd is ranting about the dance as Eddie says it is going to be great. Lloyd still doesn't understand how to date as he misses the ball. He keeps ranting as he then spots a hot girl through the window. He falls in love as he gets the ball back to Eddie. Eddie can believe it as Lloyd forgets to ask her to the dance. At school the teacher is teaching as Lloyd then starts to rant about forgetting to ask Cindy to the dance. He is disappointed with himself as all of a sudden he gets a note from Cindy. However, the teacher wants to know what the note says as the big guy then eats the note. At lunch Kurt then pulls the note out of himself as Lloyd then watches it as the gang suggests going to the dance with her. At home Lloyd then tries to call Cindy as Station says he is going to be fine. They talk on the phone as Lloyd is very nervous. He then asks her to the dance as Cindy agrees. All of a sudden her second head comes onto the screen as Lloyd is stunned. At school the rest of the gang are talking about the dance as they say they have dates to the dance. Eddie is the only one without a date as they catch up with Lloyd as he says he has asked Cindy out to the dance. He seems displeased as he then explains about her two heads. All of a sudden Cindy arrives as the evil Cindy starts to attack all of Lloyd's friends. Good Cindy says she is happy, but evil Cindy starts attacking Kurt. The gang say he can't take her to dance because she is mean. Lloyd doesn't know what to say as Kurt wants to cry. Eddie tells him to ditch her as at home Station tells him not to cancel. Lloyd calls Cindy as he doesn't come up with the courage to cancel the date. Lloyd then says he is doing so good at his homework as Cindy wants to invite him around to do some tutoring. Lloyd is getting dressed for the dance as he then explains to his mother about her two heads. As both his mother and grandpa tell Lloyd to charm her as it is easier to change her. They arrive at the dance as Kurt is hanging the decorations. Lloyd then arrives as evil Cindy says she likes wrestling. Lloyd says he likes it as well, but good Cindy doesn't like wrestling, so it confuses Lloyd. No one is dancing as Lloyd tries to dance with Cindy, but her two heads are going back and forth about what they like. Station asks how it is going as Lloyd says it is impossible to talk to her as Lloyd and Cindy finally dance. They break out into dance as everyone joins in. Lloyd is out of breath as a slow song then comes on. Evil Cindy tells him he isn't romantic as he then tries to dance with her. He then gets into a fight with evil Cindy. He then shouts at good Cindy as he then tells her to shut up. As good Cindy cries, Lloyd rants about wanting to dump her ages ago. Both heads cry as they run away as the dance is ruined. Cindy cries as all the other girls check on her. Lloyd watches from outside as Eddie then comes and checks on him. Lloyd explains how bad she was as Eddie says there is two sides to every story. They then hear two people talk about how two-faced Lloyd is as it upsets him. Eddie says he is two-faced sometimes as Lloyd asks why he sticks around as Eddie says he likes the other side of him. Eddie says you should take everyone as they are as Eddie says Cindy likes Lloyd and Lloyd should take her for both sides. Cindy is still crying as Lloyd arrives to have a word. He tries to explain himself as Cindy says it was very mean. Lloyd says she was pretty mean to him as well. Cindy accepts that as Lloyd says that it is okay because Lloyd likes her as he wants them to start over. They get up to dance as everyone joins back in as Eddie gets a date as the episode then ends. Finally we have the science project. Lloyd is ranting away to himself as Station then turns up and asks what he is doing. Lloyd says he is trying to ask his mom for a pet. He then shows off the new pets he has heard about as Station is surprised. But says his mom will be reasonable. His mother says no as Lloyd chatbacks. His mother says she has had enough of pets that Lloyd has failed with. Lloyd begs with her as his mother says no. His sister says Lloyd is an animal as on the school bus. The gang want to know when Lloyd is getting a python. Lloyd says he isn't getting one as he says he is responsible. The teacher demands her projects as Lloyd forgets he is meant to be doing it as everyone else says they have been doing it. At lunch Lloyd asks the gang what everyone else is doing as the brain shows off his project. Eddie then shows off his magic pen as Lloyd doesn't know what to do. Kurt shows off his potato clock as Lloyd starts to panic. The brain suggests the mold experiment as he then shows off what it is. Lloyd says it is lame but agrees to do it anyway. At home Station says it is great as Lloyd heads to bed. At night we see a rock explode and some green light ends up on the dish. Lloyd wakes up as there is tons of mold, so he heads home with Eddie as they are discussing the mold. Station says there is trouble as Lloyd walks in and starts to panic. He feeds it loads of stuff as Station and Lloyd don't know what to do. He heads to the kitchen to grab some more stuff as it doesn't work. He tried everything in the fridge as Lloyd is upset. He knocks the slushy on the mold as it works. He drips more slushy on the mold as it grows. Station is confused as Lloyd says it must like junk food. So he adds a ton of junk food to the mold as it grows and grows. Lloyd then explains what he has learnt as the mold then becomes alive. The family come around to see it as his mother and sister are confused. Francine tries to talk to it as it doesn't work. Lloyd keeps feeding him as he boasts about hopefully getting a good grade. The brain becomes annoyed with him as the gang head to Lloyd's place to see the mold grow 10 times big. Lloyd starts to show what the mold can do as he grows once more. Kurt questions what mold is as Eddie starts to diss him. Kurt and the brain head to go get some more food for the mold. Eddie admits it is cool as Lloyd says he wants to win the whole thing. At the school the awards are being given out as Lloyd wins. He collects his award as he shows off his huge mold. At home everyone celebrates him as his mom is very proud of him. But she then says he can get rid of it as the project is over. Lloyd is angry as he doesn't want to do it as he then announces he is his pet. They head to his room as Lloyd is ranting about his mom and sister as he then says it will just be him and his mold. So we see them do some things together as he grows bigger and bigger. They head to sleep as the mold wakes up Lloyd as he is still hungry, so Lloyd feeds him as there is nothing left to give him apart from a tomato. He gives mold the tomato as he spits it out. Lloyd wakes up to find nothing left in the house as the mold has eaten everything. His mother comes to the kitchen annoyed as she tells him it's time to leave. She tells Lloyd it is over as Lloyd tries to beg her. All of a sudden the mold starts eating the house as he goes on a rampage and starts eating everything. He grows to an outrageous size as Lloyd's mother calls her friends to stop the mold. The mold continues on as Lloyd tries to beg mold to stop. They head to the food court as the gang are hanging out there. The mold arrives as he eats and eats. Lloyd tells him to stop, but he doesn't listen. Lloyd's mom and her team come to put a stop to the mold. Everyone is annoyed with Lloyd as Lloyd then says the mold is like his child. Lloyd says to his mother he wants to be responsible. His mother gives him a chance as Lloyd heads in to calm everything down. Lloyd says he loves the mold as they come out together and the day is saved. Everyone is happy but the other guy says he can't stay here with the amount he is eating. The brain then comes up with an idea as they transport him to a special planet. Lloyd is upset as he gives the mold away as the episode concludes. Overall, Lloyd in Space was a good show and it had some of the cast of The Simpsons and SpongeBob involved. So it was a good watch. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.